Hello everyone, my name's Cliff and welcome back to my channel. This is Cliff's Dark Gems. And if you're new here, welcome, settle down, enjoy the show. And tonight we're going to do my Old School April, Pile of Possibilities. Stay tuned. Okay everyone, so there's a wonderful reading event in April, and that is Old School April, and it's created by and hosted by Kelsi from Slime and Slashes. Just an awesome channel, so energetic, and you need to check her out. I'll link her and I'll link the announcement video that she made for Old School April down below. Yeah, it's a big event. It's kind of competitive as well, so you're going to choose a team. And then it's like not just a readathon, it's a watchathon and a do-a-thon and eventathon. Not sure what you call it. But anyway, you don't have to take part in all three. You only take part in one. And it's actually really relaxing because there's about 50 odd, what do you call them, prompts. And pretty much any book will fit into those prompts. So the book that you're reading right now would probably fit into one of those prompts. So even if you mood read, kind of relaxing, and obviously I've chosen books that I want to read, and actually I've got a lot of books that I want to reread this month, next month, April, and actually I'm very happy that I'm doing that because they're kind of beloved books of mine, and sometimes it's just good to go back to something you know and you love. Especially if you feel like you might be falling into a bit of a slump. So feeling like a little bit like I'm getting that way. So it's good to go back to something you know. I think that's a good way to get out of that feeling. Yeah. And the teams that are available, I just kind of dropped into the server, the Discord server, and I decided to go for the Candyman crew. Because I love the Candyman, I love Clive Barker. And the film, The Candyman, is based on the short story from the Books of Blood, and it's called The Forbidden. Now, I found out something quite interesting about, if you look up in the visual above me, you'll see, the Candyman is covered with bees, which is kind of something important, which I'm not going to say in the book or the movie. But yeah, the real actor that actually had this happen to him, the bees were real. And he was offered, I think, $1,000 extra for every time he got stung. And he got stung 23 times. So yeah, it's just a little interesting fact about the movie. Okay, before we move on to the books, well, this is book 2, but our monthly pick for March was T. Kingfisher, The Twisted Ones. And we're going to have a live chat next Sunday, the 6th. 6th of April. I think it'll be on my channel, but we'll confirm. And yeah, come and join us in the chat room and pop into our Discord, which I'll link down below. So there's that. So let's move on to the books. Okay, so the first book is Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. I really need to get myself another new copy. This is one of my favorite books of all time. Definitely in my top 5. And I know Kelsi loves this book as well. And yeah, anyway, we're going to be doing this as our April read for Fright Club. So go check out our Discord if you want to join in. And yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, beautiful story. And yes, it's a murder mystery, but it's at its heart and soul. It is coming of age. It is nostalgia. It's looking back to other times. And it's just such a... like I say, it's dark. I don't know why people call it horror, maybe kind of horror elements. It's a murder mystery, a dark murder mystery, but it's so much more than that, people. This boy and the father discovered the body in the car sinking into this lake. And from there, you're gonna like kind of think of when you were young, when you read this book. I guarantee. And I can almost guarantee not completely, because I see some 1-star reviews on Goodreads and I'm thinking, what the hell are you people thinking? This is a beautiful, beautiful book. So yeah, that's the first one, Boy's Life. Okay, next up we got another Robert McCammon book, and that is Mr. Slaughter. Now I'm busy with this book because I'm in Akil from Esteem. I'm doing a read along with him on the series, on the Matthew Corbett series, and this is part 3. And it's freaking magnificent, people. Maybe I'm not enjoying this as much as the first one and the second one, but it's still brilliant. It opens with Speaks the Nightbird, and it follows, this character, Matthew Corbett, and how he becomes like a problem solver. That's what he's officially called. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail because you really need to read the series from the beginning. It's historical fiction, but knowing Robert McCammon, who's more in his early days a horror writer, it gets very dark, people. Freaking dark. I think you'll love it. So yeah, that is Mr. Slaughter. Okay, and the next book I'm going to read is The Spear by James Herbert. Now, my friend John from Disquiet and Dragons has got a Discord where he's also doing all the James Herbert novels. And I've missed a couple because I did the Rats. I'm waiting for the second part of the Rats. And yeah, I know this is about kind of neo-Nazis. It's a kind of weapon of destruction. And yeah, so it relates to World War II, and obviously the spear is an evil kind of thing. And I read it before. This is also a reread. But I read it in like kind of the early 80s. Can't really remember anything. So I'm going to give it a reread with John. And before I go on, I haven't really been mentioning the prompts because I want you to go to Kelsi's channel and check her call-out video, first video she did for Old School April, where she tells you everything about the prompts and everything. But one of the basic ones is it's got to have yellow on the cover. Okay, I'm not sure if this is yellow. But there are so many different kinds of prompts, and you can fit into anything, not even horror, fantasy, anything. And yeah, I'm sure I can find something for this book as well. Even like books that have to be over 400 pages, you get bonus points, I think. Or books that are novellas, you get points. So you get points for just about everything. But yeah, that's a spear. Okay, next up, one of my another top 10 favorite book of all time that I'm going to be rereading. And I'm excited, people. And that is Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. Now, I know that's another prompt that if you read a book that one of the co-hosts mentions, and one of the co-hosts mentions this, I'm sorry, I watched all, I couldn't remember who it was. But yeah, this is going to be lovely. And as you can see, it's coming of age, which is the point. Yellow on the cover, which is the point. And I think there's all sorts. I think I'm going to get about 10, 15 points from this. Maybe I'm being a little bit, but because it was recommended by one of the co-hosts or the host, you get bonus points. So yeah, I think I'm going to score well with this book. And it's so beautiful. And it's about these two boys born other side of midnight. And one is mischievous and bold, and one is kind of a little bit more cautious. So they kind of complement each other. And this dark carnival comes into town. And mysterious, what is his name? Mr. Dark. Oh well, never mind. But it's a beautiful book, people. And it's also about this father, so it's about aging. Coming to terms with growing old, and he can't play with his kid anymore. There's just so many themes in this book. But the best thing about it is that prose drips off your tongue. It is gorgeous. And yeah, this is in my top 10 books of all time. I wouldn't really call it horror, and it reads a little bit like YA, maybe YA horror, dark fantasy. But it is dark, deliciously gorgeous. Yeah, not sure if that makes sense, but it's beautiful. So just read this book. Okay everyone, so I had some success on my last Richard Lehman, The Island. So I decided to give it another go. And this one is short. And it's called Night Show by Richard Lehman. Now I want to know what a novella length is. Is it under 250 pages, under 200 pages? You better tell me because I want to score some points in these books. But yeah, let me read the back quickly. She looked up at the window and shuddered. Okay, I'm not going to read all of it. The girl pressed against the glass, eyes wide open in horror, lips drawn back in a soundless scream of terror. That girl was her. That was her body roughly seized from behind. the clutching hand cupping her, pinning her, thrusting her forward. She looked up at her own face as a shotgun blasted out. "Cut, cut," said the director. "Beautiful." But still she shuddered. Just for a moment came the premonition of a horror that would not be restricted to the film set. That sounds interesting. It doesn't sound like other gaming books as much. And what I associate with gaming is just corny, adolescent, kind of sexual innuendo and just horny boys looking at girls' butts and everything. And obviously some sick violence and stuff like that. But this seems like it could be kind of rapey stuff, but I don't know. Gaming has been hit or miss for me. Some of his stuff I did not like at all, but there's been a few that I really enjoyed. And I figured this is really short, so I could probably get through this quite quickly. Next up we have All Heads Turn When the Hunt Goes by John Farris. Yeah, now this is a classic from the 70s. I'm not sure when in the 70s, but one of the prompts is either on your birth date or the decade you were born in. That's another point right there, yellow on cover. And also this was a book that I was going to read for another event, but we didn't get around to it. And so yeah, All Head Turns is a knockout. Okay, what it's about. A spine-chilling nightmare of black occultism and vengeance that begins with unholy matrimony and ends in blood-curdling terror. So yeah, I'm going into this one blind, but you gotta love this face on the cover and this creature. I know the book could be in better condition, but it's very second-hand. But yeah, I don't know what this is. If it's snake skin on this woman, it freaks me out a little bit looking at it. But yeah, All Heads Turn When the Hunt Goes by. Okay, for the next two books, I thought it would be only fitting to read some Clive Barker, considering I'm in the Candyman club, right? Candyman crew. So, first one I'm going to reread is Clive Barker, The Hellbound Heart. Yeah, I love this book. Look at the detail on this cover, the screaming face there as well, if you see, scared face, one of the prompts. And yeah, yellow, it's just beautiful. And it's about this guy who's a hedonist, and he finds this puzzle box, opens the box, yeah, opens up a world of pain. Basically, I'm not going to talk about it. You just got to read it. It's quick and short, and yeah, it gets ripped to pieces. Next one, and that is Mr. Begone. It's by Clive Barker. Now, I read this quite a while ago, and I remember giving it 3 stars. And I know that one of my friends actually really enjoys it. And I just thought, let me give it a reread, because I remember it wasn't that bad. And actually the second time around, I might enjoy it a lot more. Because it is, yeah, it's about a demon telling you at the beginning, burn this book. Let me just read the first paragraph. Burn this book. Go on quickly while there's still time. Burn it. Don't look at another word. Did you hear me? Not one more word. Why are you waiting? It's not that difficult. Just stop reading and burn the book. It's for your own good, believe me. No, I can't explain why. Okay, so it's like that, but it's basically told, yeah, this is a demon. And I'm not going to tell you what the story's about. Let's read it. But it's actually kind of fun. And it's unlike other Clive Barker stuff I've read. And maybe that's what put me off a little bit. Because it's kind of dark humor in it. And I wasn't really expecting it. So yeah, let me read it again. Try again. Okay, and finally, although I might look at stuff from a Kindle as well, some nice short stuff, but finally the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. It'll be my first Grady Hendrix. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm hearing it's a good one. And it's about this, let's just read the back, actually it's in the front here. Patricia Campbell's life has never felt smaller. Her husband is a workaholic. Her teenage kids have their own lives. Her senile mother-in-law needs constant care. And she's always a step behind on her endless to-do list. The only thing keeping her sane is her book club. A woman united by their love of true crime. Then, James Harris walks into her life during the summer of 1993. He makes her feel things she hadn't felt in years. But when children on the other side of town go missing, Patricia wonders if he's connected. Is he a Brad Pitt, a Bundy, or something much worse? So already I can see I like a little bit of humour in this book, just in the blurb. So I think I'm going to really enjoy this. Something different. So yeah, the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Okay everyone, that's it for tonight. Hope you enjoyed that. Tell me down in the spaces below, have you read any of those books? Should I prioritize any of those books? Are you taking part in Old School April? I'd love to hear from you down in the comments below. And yeah, please let me know. And if you enjoy this content, please be sure to like and subscribe. It helps me out. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep those pages turning. And cheers.